Chileans have voted to reject a new constitution that would have radically reshaped the South American country. 62% voted against the new text that was to replace the constitution drafted by former dictator Augusto Pinochet in 1980. Our South American correspondent Katie Watson has this report.
It was an overwhelming turnout and an overwhelming rejection by Chileans of a new constitution billed as being one of the world's most progressive. And it's a crushing defeat for President Gabriel Boric, who's thrown all of his efforts into supporting a rewriting of the constitution. Sunday's vote happened because of this. Widespread protests in 2019 that started over a hike in subway fares, but grew to encompass broader demands for better access to things like education, healthcare and pensions. It took everyone by surprise. Chile has long been thought of as one of the region's most prosperous and stable countries, but that masked deep inequalities. Top of protesters' demands was to rip up the dictatorship-era constitution and replace it with something more progressive, more inclusive. In 2020, nearly 80% of Chileans agreed they wanted a new constitution. The draft, drawn up by a constitutional assembly, was broad in scope, encompassing better access to education and healthcare, a recognition of indigenous rights and climate issues. Voting on Sunday was obligatory. 15 million Chileans were eligible to cast their vote, and turnout was high.
I hope that we get a state that benefits us all Chileans, better pensions, health. This system that was established during the dictatorship has not been good enough to respond to all the needs of the people, only to a few. So I hope for a new model that does respond to all the needs of Chile.
I find it very exciting because Chile woke up. It is what we needed to be united, because the process we were living in divided us all. It was a difficult process where they did not respect our decisions.
In the end, though, this was not the text that everyone could agree on. There was criticism over some of the proposals and disagreements over the constituents elected to draft it. President Boric spoke to the nation shortly after the results came through, promising not to give up.
I pledge to do my utmost to build, together with Congress and civil society, a new constituent itinerary that will provide us with a text that, taking on board the lessons learned from the process, manages to interpret the views of a broad majority of citizens. I know that everyone will join us in this.
President Boric says he'll meet with party leaders first thing on Monday to discuss the steps ahead. But he'll have a tough job on his hands. There's no doubt this vote was seen by many as a referendum on his leadership, and Chile's future is uncertain. Katie Watson, BBC News.